I'm your host, Deidre Sirianni, and you're listening to the Radically Aligned podcast. And this week, I am so excited to dive into the topic of spirituality, what spirituality truly is from my perspective, and how you can become more connected to your spirit so that you can live a life of fulfillment, play, and expansion. So my definition of spirituality isn't a religion. It's not practices. It's not like potentially many other people's perspective of what spirituality is. And this is one of the things that I want to talk about because I find that the topic of spirituality is extremely distorted and has been branded as something that it is not. It's been branded in so many ways as dressing a certain way, eating a certain way, talking a certain way. And it's this whole brand that's happened in North America of what spirituality is. Whereas in reality, spirituality is not what you wear. It's not what you eat. It's not the people that you surround yourself with. It's not a church. Those are all pieces that you may step into, environments you may go into, clothing you may wear that you like, but spirituality has nothing to do with crystals. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. And that's why I'm super excited to dive into today's episode, because it actually unfiltered drives me a little crazy how disconnected so many of us are from what spirituality really is. And there's so many of us who are getting caught up in this illusion of what it is, and we're doing a lot of harm. So the first thing is, what is spirituality? Spirituality, if we make it very simple, which it is being in alignment with your spirit. It's listening to your spirit and really allowing yourself to be in your spirit and allowing others to do the same. I'm going to say that spirituality is allowing yourself to be and live in your spirit and giving other people permission to do the same. What spirituality is not is trying to control things. What spirituality is not is saying that you need to dress or be a certain way in order to be in your spirit. Those are a lot of the branding tactics and things that are out in the world today that are distracting us from truly what spirituality is. So being in alignment with your spirit is honoring your spirit, is listening to your spirit, is not numbing and pushing parts of you away and trying to be someone that you're not. So if you find yourself saying, oh, I can't do that, or, this isn't for me, or feeling like you're not fully expressing yourself and being your authentic self, that is not spiritual, because you're blocking your spirit from being in its space of flow and expression. Another thing that spirituality is not is judging others and telling them who they are, who they can't be, and putting limitations on others. And I think the key piece here with being in the space of spirituality is allowing other people to be in their spirit without causing harm. Because every single time we try to control people, we judge people, we tell people how to be or how not to be based on how we're feeling potentially with our own insecurity or whatever's going on in our inner world, we are blocking them from being in their spirit, and we are not being in our spirit. So the way I like to think of spirituality, it's like a kid. When you're a child, you have fun, you play, you don't think about a bunch of different things. You say what's on your mind, you express yourself, and you have fun. And it can be very easy to lose that as we get older and we start to bring on all of these roles and ways of being that we've started to accumulate and learn over time. So spirituality is really about being in your spirit and giving other people permission to do the same. If we keep it simple, it has nothing to do with everything else, because let's be honest, in the world, in North America today, everything is branded as this is this, this is this, where actually being spiritual has nothing to do with where you hang out, what you wear, if you, do tarot cards, if you go to church. It has nothing to do with it. It's an inner practice. And it's a practice because when we're not being in our spirit, we feel blocked, we get sick, we don't feel good. and we start to disconnect from our life force energy in that space of play. So, if right now in your life you're feeling disconnected from yourself, you're feeling disconnected from others, maybe you feel out of control, maybe you have a lot of anxiety, maybe you're experiencing depression and disease, I guarantee somewhere along the line in your life right now, you are shoving your spirit down or pushing it away because it doesn't feel safe to express yourself. And this can come from unhealed trauma. This can come from past programming. This can come from the ways that you think that you should be in order to be safe in this world. And that's okay. As humans, this happens to us, but it's important to notice, where am I feeling blocked? Where am I blocking myself? Where have I stopped playing? Where have I stopped expressing myself? And then starting to give yourself permission and time to explore that is so key. So, spirituality is honoring your spirit and giving everyone else permission to do the same. So, now I want to talk a little bit about the difference between the soul and the spirit. So, a big part of my work when I work with people in one on one environments and in small groups, I'm able to actually tap into what their spirit is saying, what their soul is saying, what their highest self is saying, what their body is saying, what their emotional body is saying. I'm able to see all of those layers of self. And so our soul is really that part of us that it's like that soul music, like the things just make you feel like cozy and at home and warm and loved and nourished. That is like the soul, right? The things that make you feel at home. Whereas the spirit is this part of us that wants to dance, it wants to play, it wants to have no boxes and no filters. And so what I find a lot with adults who have been, really focusing on potentially building their career, or they have a lot of obligations in their life, I find this a lot in my programs, is that their spirit feels like it's stuck. It feels like it can't move. And in many cases, it's not moving or showing itself. So if you're feeling disconnected from yourself, if you're feeling disconnected from others, if you are manifesting dis-ease, discomfort, anxiety, depression, and you're not really feeling the highs of life fully, guarantee it has to do with not being tapped into your spirit. So again, going back to what spirituality is, honoring your spirit and allowing other people to do the same. So first things first is, where are you potentially putting limitations on people in your life on how they should be? And just observe that. Take a moment and observe that, because this is actually really, really key. We try to control others when we feel like we've had to be controlled, or when we feel like we're out of control, right? The next piece is, where have you potentially been told it's not safe to speak your truth? It's not safe to express yourself. It's not safe to be outspoken. And maybe you've been called too much. Maybe you've been told you have a big personality. I've been told that many times. Deidre has a big personality. And, many times in my life, I contracted, I would shrink because it didn't feel safe, right? And so noticing these patterns in our life can give us these access points to really go deeper on the journey of self and honor our spirit. Some of the practices that I recommend to clients that are so good is dance. So putting on music first thing in the morning and closing your eyes and just intuitively dancing is a really beautiful way to tap into your spirit. And you can even say to yourself, allow my spirit to guide me today. Allow an adventure to present itself. Allow my spirit to guide the day. And that's a really fun way to tap into play. Another practice and thing that I get many of my clients to do is to plan every single week something that they would never do. So another way to tap into your spirit is to get outside of your comfort zone and sign up for that cooking class, that dance class, bungee jumping, whatever it is, those things that you're like, oh my gosh, I would never want to do that. That's so outside of my comfort zone. Maybe it's stand-up comedy. Maybe it's going on stage and telling a joke. Do things that are outside of your comfort zone, doing improv and making a challenge for yourself to truly tap into these parts of you so that your spirit can play. And so again, spirituality is truly about honoring our spirit and honoring others and making sure that we're not doing harm to ourselves or to others, not self-numbing, not shoving our feelings down. And also encouraging others to be in their spirit too. So I hope that you've enjoyed this episode today. Spirituality is simple. Everything else is an illusion and is a distraction from really going inwards and asking your spirit, how can we play the game today? How can I let my spirit play? And a good thing to do is just tap into how you were as a child when you had the most fun. What were the things that you did? And these are simple things that you can start to tap a little bit deeper into your spirit. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's episode, a no BS conversation around spirituality, what it is, what it isn't, how to tap deeper into it, and some embodiment practices to really tap deeper into your spirituality so you can have more fulfillment, more fun, and really be in a space of more expansion. And what I know for sure is every single time I've been in my spirit fully, that's when so much magic has happened. That's when everything has opened up for me. So my question for you today is, what is something that you're going to do this week to tap more into your spirit? And what's something that you're going to really reflect on of how you've been potentially shoving parts of you down so that they have permission to come to the surface? If you enjoyed this episode, please go ahead and press subscribe and leave a review. We'd appreciate that so much. And I have a course coming up very soon that is called Turn Your Light On. And this program is all about waking up to your higher self. It's about turning your light on, turning that glow on, turning your spirit on, and truly connecting with your purpose, your impact, and who you're meant to be in the world. So if you want to learn more about that, it opens up at the end of March, and we love to invite you to join and check it out. It's a super, super powerful program where people have these breakthroughs where they were holding back, where they weren't speaking their truth, where they were tapped into discomfort, dis-ease, and these barriers in their life that they were able to move through in a very short amount of time. And it's a really powerful program to tap into your spirit and really live it and practice it and love yourself up while stepping deeper into your purpose. So sending you lots of love. The link is in the bio, so you can click on that link and check out the program and see what other people are saying about the Turn Your Light On program. Have yourself a beautiful day and look forward to talking to you soon.